You're watching Gamer TV. Swords and spells at the ready. We've got a regular fantasy fest coming up for you as the battle for Middle-earth rages onto your PC. And if that's not enough elves and wizards, veteran British lovey Christopher Lee reveals all behind the scenes of Everquest II. We see how far 100 bullets will go as the games biz continues to draw on cult comics for inspiration. But first, helmets on and trigger fingers at the ready because duty calls. Hear that order being yelled from the desolate battlefields? That's the sound of console gamers getting drafted in for Call of Duty Finest Hour, their own taste of the superb World War II shooter that's been leaving PC gamers shell-shocked. If you've already beaten back the Nazi hordes on the PC and think that you've seen all this before, think again, soldier. You're back taking turns in the combat boots of Russian, British and American forces, but Finest Hour features a fresh set of history-changing battles. Just like its PC cousin, the cinematic visuals and other troops that accompany you do well to make it feel like you're just one small cog in the Allied war machine. Here, you'll even get to see the horrors of war from a female perspective as Tanya, the deadly Russian sniper.
There you are.
A first for this sort of adventure, we reckon. Hoarding medical kits is a new feature, and if you're feeling generous, you can care for wounded comrades. The switch to joypad control, the downfall of many a console-converted FPS, has been a smooth one here. All the necessary actions work well, and after a bit of adjustment, you'll be almost as happy as with a mouse and keyboard.
Lead the way!
The atmospheric sense of being in the thick of the action comes across well too, but perhaps not quite as absorbing as before. This could be partly due to the way that you jump between characters more often and don't really get a chance to develop as much of a sense of empathy. Some of the scenarios are perhaps more fun to play than being in a warshed scene. Riding shotgun on a jeep in North Africa and some of the missions that involve escorting or driving tanks are particularly memorable. Overall, Finest Hour is a wild ride through some of mankind's most violent episodes that holds its own against the original PC masterpiece. Video games and comics have gone hand in hand since the days of Dan Dare on the Commodore 64. Since then, the relationship has had its ups and downs, but with the recent announcement of a Beautiful Joe cartoon series and the forthcoming release of games based on cult graphic novels Red Star and 100 Bullets, it looks like comics are hot property once again. So now's a good time to have a look at the issues facing developers working in a comic book universe. We've met quite a few over the years, so we thought we'd check out what makes games and comics go together so well.
With a comic strip, you've got a lot more creativity. And I think just right at the outset, the stories are going to be a little more out there. They're going to be more dramatic. You're going to have very clearer concepts, I believe, of good versus evil.
I don't know about the good, but there's certainly a lot of evil in the 100 Bullets comic. It's a masterpiece of revenge and paranoia, centered around a gun and 100 untraceable bullets. 100 Bullets don't go very far in a video game, however, so Acclaim Studios have gone for a more action-packed approach.
In the story, there's a lot of dialogue, and we, obviously for a video game, want to do a lot more action. So the base part of our gameplay is a third-person action shooter where you get to play the role of two makers and see their story.
The characters are the focal point of the comic book, and if the developer gets it right, some games, like beat-em-ups, don't need anything else. In order to work in other game genres, however, comic characters need a bit of charisma, which is why Cyclops can get his own game, and Wolverine does.
We were very much aware from the beginning that people really wanted to see Wolverine out on his own and really make the most of that character probably more than any other one of the X-Men.
Better get scared, shortstop! You know you're no match for me!
Wolverine's Revenge gives Wolverine a proper storyline, which is in there somewhere in between all the beat-em-up bits.
A lot of the best things about the game wouldn't have occurred as ideas probably had it been an original title. So much of it has come from the character.
And it was the iconic characters from 2000 AD that convinced developer Rebellion to buy the entire comic.
Judge Dredd, glad you could join us.
Their first game inevitably featured its most famous hero, Judge Dredd.
He's a hardcore comics character, tough, sci-fi, all the kind of things which I've always been into. And it seemed like an ideal choice for a game.
Judge Dredd, like all great comic heroes, has a distinctive visual style. Bringing a comic book universe alive involves translating that style to an interactive 3D world, which is quite a challenge for the game artist.
There are a number of stylistic techniques from the comics that we're trying to get into the game, and one of those is what we call rim lighting, an effect where when an artist is painting a character, they'll often highlight the edge of the character with a brush stroke to give the effect of like light catching the edge of the character, so you can pick them out in dark areas, and it gives a certain sheen to things which looks cool.
Rock.
What looks even cooler is cell shading, which gave some extra va-va-voom to the game of cult French comic 13. This distinctive visual style brought the comic world to life, complete with sound effects and speech bubbles. Unfortunately, the actual gameplay was a bit hit and miss. And here's the problem with the comic-game relationship. So far, no one's got the balance right. They either tend to look the part but don't play it, like 13, or play well but don't look or feel like the comic book, like what we've seen of 100 Bullets. However, with the Rogue Trooper game on the horizon and the possibility of a sequel to 13, we get the feeling that the definitive comic book video game can't be too far away. Now, all the news that's fit to be printed. Here's Spam Filter. Half-Life 2 may be the greatest game ever to grace a PC, but this week, 20,000 Half-Life 2 players were banished from playing it. The reason for this was a copied CD key. Valve has warned that similar piracy will result in permanently disabled accounts. You have been warned. The controversial release of JFK Reloaded has been condemned by the Kennedy family. The title allows you to reenact the assassination in Dallas of John F. Kennedy. Reloaded's developers, Traffic Games, have defended the content, claiming it encourages youngsters to take an interest in history. The dreams of GameCube and Xbox owners were left bloodied and broken this week with news that Tekken 5 will be released as a PS2 exclusive after all. With the PS2 version still in development, expect to see the game released early in 2005. There was more good news for PS2 owners with the announcement that Full Spectrum Warrior will also be coming to the platform for 2005. The tactical shooter has been a huge success on Xbox and PC, and it'll be interesting to see what games creators Pandemic make of the PS2 version. NC Soft, the industry's leading massively multiplayer online publisher, are in trouble with comic publisher Marvel over their latest game, City of Heroes. The game is set in a virtual world known as Paragon City and allows players to battle villains and mutants in the guise of superheroes.
Okay, roll the drums.
The controversy arises from the player's ability to create their own superhero character in the game. As well as affecting the license of their characters for other video games, Marvel are concerned that character design will enable players to copy their trademark comic book characters. Marvel has a history of suing companies for illegal use of their characters. The last few years have seen big battles with Sony and Disney, and it looks like NC Soft is next in line. Unless you've been living in a wheelie bin for the past few years, you'll have noticed that customising cars is all the rage. Granted, once customised, enthusiasts seem to do very little with them apart from squirrel round supermarket car parks. But Forza Motorsport will certainly be an Xbox title for those that like to tinker. This latest racer, released early next year, will feature models from over 60 manufacturers, and each car will be changeable to the nth degree. From intricate engine tweaks to gaudy paintwork, you can literally spend hours making those loving alterations that absolutely no one else will notice. Microsoft is going big on Xbox Live with this one. You'll be able to upload creations and exchange ideas with what the game's developers hope will become an online car club. Just as importantly, up to 8 players can burn up simultaneously in the online racing modes. It remains to be seen how effective these live races will be, but if it keeps them off the real streets, it gets my vote blind. Forza Motorsports is hoping to be acclaimed, as Microsoft puts it, the best racing sim ever. Detail it certainly has, but you'll have to wait for our review to find out the rest. Still to come on Gamer TV, superheroes, Uruk-hai, and vampires. So who says we don't cater for all tastes? We'll be back in the shake of a wizard's what's-it.
Get up to speed and transform your gaming experience with Blue Yonder broadband internet.
2 bad mothers.
So who are you?
One as sweet as honey.
Take a hike for your Swiss cheese, Buster.
The other as cool as ice.
What's going on?
It's Valerie and Sydney getting dirty.
We're gonna stimulate your juices until you burst.
Cleaning up the streets.
Uplink complete. I'm moving to authorize. Now!
It's 2 hours of girl and girl action.
Oh my god, it's happening.
Alias of VIP starts Monday at 7 on Bravo. Yeah.
Ding 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 ding. Go
crazy and get the Crazy Frog as a ringtone on your mobile now. For just £3, you can choose up to 5 ringtones a week from just 60p per tone. Text Frog 7 for the mono, Frog 8 for the poly, or Frog 9 for the crazy real sound to 88888.
Enter the panoramic dimension.
L'Oreal invents Panoramic Curl, its first wide-eye mascara. 360-degree fan-out separation effect and extreme curve shaped by its unique Flexitech formula.
Curve and separation for a panoramic lash display.
New Panoramic Curl from L'Oreal Paris.
This is my dream. That red fire and black smoke will subsume the green of Middle-earth, and all hope be abandoned here. This is my dream. How will you fight your battle for Middle-earth?
EA Games.
Challenge everything.
I was installing a fire alarm system, but I was actually given the wrong type of ladder. My left hand was crushed and I dislocated my right shoulder. I called the National Accident Helpline and their solicitors got me £7,500 and I didn't even have to go to court.
If you've had an accident in the last 3 years at work or on the road, find out free if you can make a no-win, no-fee claim. Call the National Accident Helpline now on 0800 556 557.
Whatever is the matter?
Big cry, baby.
I can't get any cheap car insurance. I haven't got any no-claims bonus.
You should have asked Admiral.
Yes, ask Admiral. We love drivers with little or zero no-claims bonus.
Great. I'll ask Admiral.
Good boy.
Ask Admiral for cheaper car insurance on 0800 600 800.
0800 600 800.
You forgot Admiral.com, you amateur.
Regency found me an affordable way to buy my council house without the hassle.
They searched for the right mortgage to suit your situation.
Regency took the worry and the hassle away from buying my council house. We knew we had the right to buy the council house, but until we spoke to Regency, we weren't 100% sure.
The service was exceptional.
From the moment I phoned them up and the mortgage process started, The customer services were absolutely second to none.
All the things I was worried about, Regency sorted it out for us.
Now it's mine, I can make plans for the future.
It's yours to do with what you want to do.
They're very straight down the line with the whole mortgage process.
And I would recommend them to anybody who was going to buy a council house.
This is my house.
Well, look!
Floor it to Woolworths this Christmas.
Be warned. The cars in my new DVD are so hot, they could melt your eyes.
Jeremy Clarkson's Hot Metal, out now on DVD for just $8.99 as part of our buy one, get one half price DVD offer.
Marvellous, I turn cars to toast on a car pigeon shoot.
It's going to be a scorcher down at Woolworths this Christmas. We'll even throw in a few donuts. Woolworths, let's have some fun.
82228, your favourite fun sound charts. Get your favourite fun sound as ringtone or message tone on your mobile. Just text fun and the chart position to 82228. Answer your phone in Japanese. Text fun 25, give in to your mobile. Text fun 24, check it out. Text fun 23 for South Park fans. Text fun 22. Our tip of the week, go nuts with the Crazy Frog. Text fun 21 to 82228.
Always on the beat. A weekend of programs dedicated to real crime. Crime Time, this weekend on Bravo.
Get up to speed and transform your gaming experience with Blue Yonder broadband internet.
Welcome back to Gamer TV. Let's get the action started with what ought to be a bit of a GameCube classic. One of the greatest gaming catchphrases is back. Yep, the Joe who's far from ordinary is back in Beautiful Joe 2. The sequel to last year's popular side-scrolling beat-em-up. This oddly named title may have played like an old-fashioned brawler, but its unique visual style and crazy variety of special moves brought a whole new level to this well-worn genre. As in the first game, you play as Joe, the obsessive movie geek turned spandex-clad superhero that enters the world of movies to fight hordes of evil robots and their bizarre masters. Joining Joe this time round is Sylvia, his girlfriend. Capcom has incorporated what it calls Beautiful Touch, a fancy term for switch between Joe and Sylvia wherever you want. The two characters have their own unique styles, making them useful in different situations. The graphical style still looks fresh, and there is still plenty of wow moments as you fight your way through. But the problem with such distinctive visuals is that they run the risk of becoming commonplace if used too frequently. Which leads to the only real problem with Joe 2. It's way too similar to the previous one. You'd be hard pressed to tell two games apart. This isn't really a sequel, it's more of a large expansion pack. For the time being though, this is still a terrific game. It's challenging, but never to the point of frustration, and there's a good 15 hours tucked in there. Hey, it's a beautiful, beautiful game, and all that's left to say is...
Yell those words and yell them proud!
Henshin a go-go, baby. Blood! I want to suck your blood! Now, if Hollywood is to be believed, vampires don stupid black capes, have bad hair, live in castles, and prey on innocent virgins.
Wanna come play with me?
But the reality is far from it. Slap Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines in your PC and you'll see the eternally damned walk amongst us, feasting on the virgin types of Los Angeles. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines is an open-ended RPG. You play a recently transformed vampire who embarks on a variety of story-driven quests.
Hey baby, you looking for a date?
Your actions and decisions throughout the game shape the type of vampire you become. Everything from the socialite to a bloodthirsty killer with every possibility in between. Using your newfound powers, you interact with the non-player characters in the game. It's a bit tricky to work out what everything does at first, and the combat system feels more random than skilled, but it's not long before you embark on your adventures of the night. Visually, the game is awe-inspiring, and it's no coincidence that the game engine is the same one found powering Half-Life 2. The undead never looked so good.
How odd. I was just having naughties about you.
And it's not just your eyes that are treated. Your ears feast on a soundtrack that creeps through your body. Engulfing sound and visuals, open-ended gameplay with so many different possibilities, a gradual learning curve and the chance to suck blood from some of LA's finest. What more could you want from a game? It's time to give up on the garlic and hammer that stake back into the ground. The future's dark. The future's eternally damned.
Having you for breakfast.
It may not be to everyone's taste, but role-playing epic Everquest has attracted a fanatical, if slightly bizarre, following. In fact, the game has become so popular in the West that fans regularly get together to dress up in strange clothing and celebrate their alternative existence in the Everquest universe.
I am the Nexus Scion.
Yes, I'm sure you are. Whatever your take on Sony's immersive online adventure, there's no denying its success.
Everquest is this huge, huge phenomenon that people from around the world, we have almost 430,000 people playing from just about every major country on the earth right now. Anywhere there's an internet connection, they're players. It's staggering when you think about it. We've had over 2.5 million people try this game in 5 years. 2.5 million. We've had over 12 million characters created.
Welcome, travelers. You're doomed to adventures from your own lands. So far.
It's the people that really make the game something special, that take it to the next level. It's not just pixels on a screen or mythical dragons that you fight. It's interacting with people, it's making real friendships.
Having dominated the online world once, Sony are attempting to do it all over again with the long-awaited release of Everquest II. While the basic gameplay mechanics have stayed the same, the Everquest universe of Middleearth has been brought up to date with a much-needed makeover, something that the production team believe will lead to a more immersive experience.
We've brought in motion capture talent from the top movies such as The Matrix, doing each and every move that we required for the game, and provided a basis to our animators to be able to get natural motion and that visceral physical feel to combat that you would expect from a game of this caliber. We've also brought in technologies like water technologies from movies like Titanic, which were pre-rendered and now they're done in real time in our game.
We all know Hollywood's elite can't get enough of the games industry at the moment, so it's no surprise to us that Everquest II features stars from the silver screen, including Lord of the Rings bad guy Christopher Lee, who takes on the role of the evil Sir Lucan de Leer.
He is an overlord, he is a tyrant, he's a dictator. It is vocal acting, which is probably more difficult to do than anything else, because whatever I say has got to fit the character I play.
I've uncovered one of the great mysteries of the past.
As well as the obligatory Hollywood star, the Everquest production team recruited the services of Emmy Award-winning composer Laura Cartman, who came accompanied with an 85-piece orchestra from Prague.
We want the music to be the same high quality that they would go see in a major motion picture, and obviously by using a live orchestra, it is all the depth and the color and emotion of all of those people putting all their hearts into every note, and I think the result was really, really fantastic.
Award-winning musicians and Hollywood stars won't harm the sales of Everquest II, but with an established fan base of more than 2.5 million people, you can expect the game to sell by the bucket load anyway. Don your armour and lock your womenfolk up in Helm's Deep. It's yet another movie-based Lord of the Rings game from Lord of the Licenses Electronic Arts. The thought of a real-time strategy game filled most people with equal amounts of fear and curiosity, but we won't keep you in suspense any longer. By the hammer of the gods, it works! Battle for Middle-earth lets you control virtually all of the main characters in the story, and although the outcome of the individual battles and the order you fight them in is up to you, it follows the plot in rough chronological order. Each hero character in the game has specific powers that can be put to use in battle. For instance, Gandalf's spectacular lightning attack comes in useful against the Balrog in Moria. But hold on, isn't he supposed to disappear into the pit and re-emerge as Gandalf the White? Apparently not. Here he is again, fighting the hordes of Uruk-hai to secure Frodo and Sam's escape. Although this deviates from the story, he's a handy character to have around, so we won't complain too much. Both regular units and heroes gain rank upgrades and powers, and you can carry them forward from mission to mission, encouraging you to preserve them. Underneath the license, Battle for Middle-earth is fairly standard point-and-click RTS fare, and as soon as you move on to defend the lands of Rohan, it reverts to type with base building and unit creation. The game's based on the Command & Conquer Generals engine, and it looks superb with good animation and detail. Check out these Ents in action.
Build me an army worthy.
Oh no, it's Christopher Lee again.
We have much work to do.
There is also an evil campaign with you controlling Saruman and his goblin Uruk-hai hordes. As the game progresses on both sides, the battles get bigger with plenty of useful and well-balanced units. And of course there's multiplayer too. Battle for Middle-earth is faithful to the movie where it counts. But it's also fun and accessible, even for non-RTS fans. And look, you even get your very own Gollum and cave trolls. That's it for Gamer TV. I'm off hobbit hunting. For those of you who can't remember, here's how it all started.
It was in this moment when all hope had faded that Isildur, son of the king, took up his father's sword. But the Dark Lord Sauron has again emerged, and with vengeance he commands an army bred but for one purpose, to destroy the free peoples of Middle-earth. Sauron now desperately searches for that which was his in ages past. Should Sauron find the One Ring, darkness shall once again fall upon Middle-earth.
We have much work to do.